Sir Francis Drake, the first Englishman to circumnavigate the world. Circumnavigate means to sail or travel all the way around something, but in this case, the world. Francis Priddy, one of Drake's gentlemen-at-arms journal entries showed how they were on their expedition and some of the things they did on it. The 15th day of November, in the year our Lord 1577, Master Francis Drake, with a fleet of 5 ships and barks, one and to the number of 164 men, gentlemen and sailors, departed from Plymouth, giving out his pretended voyage for Alexandria. But the wind falling contrary, he was forced the next morning to put into Falmouth Haven in Cornwall, where such and so terrible a tempest took us, as if few men have seen the like, and was indeed so vehement that all our ships were like to have gone to wrack. But it pleased God to preserve us from that extremity, and to afflict us only for that present with these 2 particulars. The mast of our admiral, which was the Pelican, was cut overboard from the safeguard of the ship, and the Marigold was driven ashore and somewhat bruised. For the repairing of which damages we returned again to Plymouth, and having covered those harms, and brought the ships again to good state, we set forth the second time from Plymouth, and set sail the 13th day of December following. When Drake made his expedition, he gathered more knowledge for the English about the landforms of the world. A map created by Henricus Martellus depicted how the world was seen in 1489. Drake made it so they have more realistic maps to use. Sir Francis Drake was one of the most renowned sailors of the Elizabethan era. He was born around 1540 to 1544 in Devonshire, England, and is the eldest of 12 brothers. Drake was also apprenticed to a merchant who sailed coastal waters trading goods between England and France. Just 5 years after his circumnavigation of the world, he started to attack other Spanish settlements. One of these settlements was St. Augustine, which they captured and destroyed on May 28th or 30th, 1586. Drake had sent 23 ships at St. Augustine. But one of Drake's greatest achievements, other than his circumnavigation of the world, was when he defeated the so-called Invincible Spanish Armada, in which their defeat led to the English being the most powerful navy in the world. Drake, Vice Admiral of the English Navy, defeated the Spanish Armada because he had an idea. In the middle of the night, they lit several empty ships and sent them into the middle of the Spanish fleet. The captains of the fleet panicked and scattered. Then the English pounced. A while after that, a huge storm hit, and many of the Spanish ships were sunk or broke up in the rocks of the English shores. Many thought the English had little chance. Drake wrote to Queen Elizabeth's secretary when they defeated the Spanish Armada, "God hath given us so good a day in forcing the enemy so far leeward, as I hope in God the Prince of Parma and the Duke of Sidona shall not shake hands this few days. And upon soever they shall meet, I believe neither of them will greatly rejoice of this day's service." The defeat of the Spanish Armada ended the era of boarding and close-quarter fighting for years afterwards. Drake still continued to attack Spanish cities and treasure ships, but he died of dysentery while on an expedition to the New World on January 27, 1596.